This isn't just an aquarium, it's a tiny world, built from imagination, patience, and a love of detail. A place to escape, dream, and maybe find peace and simplicity. Welcome to this wonderful little world.
This aquarium was originally unusable due to the glass being badly cracked and broken. But today, we're going to transform it into a usable aquarium that's even more attractive than before. The first step is to clean off any remaining glass glue and broken glass fragments stuck to the frame. This process is crucial to ensuring the new glass is installed securely and neatly. Because this aquarium is quite tall, I decided to turn the aquarium upside down to make it wider. Instead of making a unique aquarium, I had to cut the sides so that the front of the aquarium was not too high but the back remained high. When cutting glass, be careful and only make one stroke when drawing the first line with the glass knife. A single mistake can cause the glass to deviate. Once the glass is cut neatly, the next step is to remove sharp edges with sandpaper or a whetstone. Then I measured and cut the new glass to fit the replaced side. I made sure the measurements were accurate and even to prevent leaks during installation. Remember, when making a cut, you should make one pass, not multiple passes, which can cause the glass to fail and go off course. The new glass is then installed using aquarium-specific silicone glue. This process requires precision to ensure the glass adheres perfectly and tightly to the sides of the frame. To increase the strength of the aquarium and prevent leaks, I added silicone glue to each corner of the glass connection. Once the aquarium glass restoration process is complete, it's time to start my favorite part, building the aquarium walls from recycled styrofoam. Once the base layer is formed, the next step is to burn certain areas of the styrofoam surface. This burning technique aims to create a natural texture, resembling real rocks and cliffs. Besides creating a natural look, burning also roughens and hardens the styrofoam surface. This will significantly assist in the subsequent cement coating process. Once the desired shape and texture are achieved, the styrofoam surface is coated with a thin layer of cement. This layer serves to strengthen the cliff structure and provide a more realistic and durable appearance in humid environments like paludariums. To produce a strong cliff, I carried out a cement coating process of 3 layers. The final step in creating this cliff is the painting process. Waterproof paint is used to give the cliff surface a natural color. The color selection is usually adapted to the natural rock tones, such as dark gray, earthy brown, or moss green. With this simple yet effective technique, a natural-looking and aesthetic Paludarium cliff was successfully created using only recycled materials, namely used Styrofoam. To complement the diorama, I created a small, traditional-style house and a tiny wooden bridge. The main materials, just bamboo sticks and popsicle sticks, arranged and glued together with precision. To increase the durability of this miniature, I painted it with oil-based spray paint, or you can also coat it with resin. Since the base of the aquarium cliff is made of lightweight styrofoam, I had to glue this cliff to the glass base of the aquarium. To make the cliff and the miniature look more lifelike, I installed several 12-volt DC lights. To add supporting details, I added a miniature TV antenna made from recycled thin wire. This antenna gives the impression of a simple, modern home living in a miniature world. Not only that, I also made a small canoe from cut popsicle sticks, shaped like a traditional boat. I'll place this canoe in the water area of the Paludarium, adding to the serene and natural feel. To prevent this miniature popsicle stick boat from sinking due to leaks, I painted it with oil-based acrylic spray paint. To add a natural and vibrant feel, I needed greenery. I used terrestrial moss and some adaptable plants as greenery. For the base medium for growing moss and other plants, I use lava sand. As the basic media for the aquarium, I prefer white sea sand because I think white sea sand will make the aquarium look brighter. Lastly, I planted cuttings of plants that are easy to grow and will root easily later. Now it's time to connect the 12-volt DC adapter to power all the lights in this aquarium. I'm using a parallel circuit for this setup. Because this aquarium is quite large, this time I used an aquarium pump with a slightly higher capacity, 1800 liters per hour. I also installed a foam filter on the aquarium pump to prevent small fish from being sucked into the pump. For the filter media, I put some cotton filter media at the top of the waterfall. After all the installations of the aquarium are complete, it's time to fill the aquarium with water. If this is the first water filling, it is best to change the water first 2 or 3 times. To add a dramatic effect, I added a fog machine that I placed in the waterfall filter tank. As a natural filter, I also added floating plants. After the entire process of making and decorating the Diorama Waterfall aquarium is complete, now is the time to bring life into it. Slowly, small fish are released into the clear water that flows calmly from the miniature cliff.
This aquarium is not just a decoration, but also a living space that is united with creativity and tranquility. The harmony between miniature elements and living creatures creates a very peaceful and natural atmosphere. Thank you for watching the process from start to finish. See you in the next one.